Alright guys, disclaimer, it's fucking hot, so I'm not turning my fan off, so if you hear it in the background, I don't care if you complain about it. I really am not sitting in this room. It is melting hot. But anyway, good morning, good night. What time am I recording this? It's late, alright guys? It's late. But today I'm going to be talking about what would happen if the Overwatch League just simply didn't exist. Like, Blizzard didn't care. I mean, it's sort of already the case they don't care, but let's just say they neglect us. We are some sort of like orphan child when compared to the pure blood royal English family, okay? Blizzard does not care about the Overwatch community. Let's just assume this happens. The esports scene, nobody cares, right? What would happen? And I think I have 3 points that perfectly encapsulate what the Overwatch competitive esports landscape would be without the Overwatch League. And the first point I do want to go on is how the organizations and events would work. And I feel like we would have never moved past the age of, oh, is there a tournament this weekend? Oh, is Envious playing? Is it worth watching? How's the NA teams going? Oh, they're barely being supported by their own, parent companies, like sponsors and stuff. Like, you'd have to get a lot of money for that. How the current league works is all players are promised a minimum salary. That wouldn't exist. You'd have teams playing for free still, which is... that's a yikes moment there. You'd have talent that's just not able to warrant playing the game because they need money, they need a livelihood. So I like the league for those reasons, but reverting back to the tournament thing, like just a weekend tournament, I recently have come across a couple people talking in their videos but they actually like that style more. Like, a league is too hard to follow, and I'd never thought about it like that, where it's like, oh, okay, it's just a one weekend tournament. The team that wins there is the current best team in, say, NA, or the current best team in EU. Personally, it hit me. I was like, I wasn't really around for that era of Overwatch where it was like, oh, Envious is playing this weekend. I think it's worth watching them go up against like Rogue or something. That sounds like sort of cool, but it's not the league where it's a full blown like infrastructure and it's all sorted out and handled by Blizzard, and it's all just really organized, and we can have a true grasp on who's the best team with the league, but it takes half a year to come to that conclusion. Whereas a tournament, sure, it's not worldwide. Apex is sort of half and half. It's more so for the Koreans, but it would have decided at that like one weekend who the current best team is. So I saw that as a really, if the league didn't exist, I feel like I'd still be slightly interested in Overwatch esports. Not to the extent I am now, because I love the way it's set out, though Blizzard has had their faults with it, and I did not talk about it enough yesterday, but the All Access Pass really shouldn't be paywalling a feature that should just be built into the Twitch application. But yeah, That's my first point, is salaries. Just the league landscape or the competitive esports landscape would be completely different. And that moves into my second point, while we were talking about Apex before, was there would be no way really to find overseas talent. Like, we wouldn't actually have a grasp until like World Cup if the Chinese scene, if the Korean scene, the gap between them. The NA versus the EU happens a little bit way back in the early days of Overwatch, but not too frequently. It was more so just, self-contained. NA would play NA, EU would play EU, the Oceanic would play itself, Koreans would play themselves, China would play themselves. It was all really self-contained back then, and now that we have the league, we've got 3 or 4 Chinese teams, we've got a lot of NA teams. We've got a couple Europe teams, being the London Spitfire and Paris Eternal, but the only true European team is the Paris Eternal. And I think how it is now is a lot better in this case. Like, we would never know someone like Jonak, Pine, Mano, Prophet, Gesture, these people, because they were on well, LW Blue, I believe, was where most of Excelsior came from. I'd never heard of them before the league, which probably makes me a bad person. But yeah, GC Busan's where Profit came from, or wasn't it a merged team at one point? I don't know. But like, I wouldn't have known anything about these players if it wasn't for the league. So I guess there's your full positive point is, without the league, there would be no way we'd know about these amazing players or how to play the game the most optimally while the season's ongoing. And yeah, I just want to go on a minor tangent here is Overwatch really sucks when the league is not on. I do want to do another video on it, but just while the league is not on, nobody knows how to play the game. Doomfist is gone because of this, but yeah, back on topic, and I guess to the third point would be my channel. What would I be doing if the Overwatch League didn't exist? Because I can sure as hell assure you I wouldn't be covering Overwatch tournaments that occurred every 2 months. And given how Black Ops 4 is, what would I be covering? Like, I would actually have nothing. And I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys. I don't know if I would have continued uploading to this channel if the Overwatch League didn't exist. Overwatch Esports lets me be in an area or a zone where I know what I'm talking about, where I can feel like I'm not wrong in a lot of my assumptions, guesses with the league, but also in the facts that I cover. I try not to be fully news orientated. I try to be very opinionated so you guys can see my view on this stuff. But if it didn't exist, if the league just fully didn't exist, I'm burnt out on zombies. It just wasn't going to happen that I'd continue playing that mode. COD Zombies, that is, for those of you that for some reason would only know me for Overwatch. And there's no other game because of, I think I explained this best in my Black Ops 4 video. I didn't really grow up with a lot of variety of games. I'm also just stuck to the Halo and COD series, and Halo gets a new installment like every 4 or 5 years, so it's not really a game that can carry your content. And COD Zombies is, I'm not buying another COD game. That's for sure. So, without COD Esports, I would assure you, I would still do YouTube, but probably not with this channel. I'd probably have let this channel die, like, fully. I probably would have put one last video up, like, guys, I don't know what to upload. There is literally nothing that I am happy with on this channel, so, yeah, that would be it. But because of the league and because of my interest in it, I can do this until I find something else I really enjoy, or eventually move into some other content that maybe a lot more people would like. But as it is now, I'm enjoying this stuff. I wish I could upload more, but my sleep schedule or some other outside factor just chews into it, and it's like I don't have the time. Sometimes I've got heaps of family home, so I actually just hate speaking to a computer screen. So that's a minor thing that has prevented me from uploading on some days way back. But yeah, I think I would have stopped. So I mean, there's your 3 reasons, or 3 things that would happen if the Overwatch League didn't exist. Hope you enjoyed the video. I didn't mean to make like half the video just about me, but you see, I have this giant ego that I like to push on you guys because I think I'm better than literally everybody else. Of course, that's my true feelings. I'm sure you can totally tell I'm being 100% honest here. You know what? Yeah, good enough. Hope you have a good rest of your day. That was quite the way to end the video, so yeah, ciao.